Hey guys, it's me again. I just wanted to go ahead and show off the Blue Eyes deck that I've been playing the last few weeks. I got 4th yesterday out of a 28-person tournament with it, and I got 1st last weekend with it. So it's been testing very well and performing very well for me, and I've been enjoying the results. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go over the list first really quickly, and then I'll go back through and explain everything. I know there's some people who don't want to wait like 3 minutes for me to go through the entire deck. So I'll go ahead and go through it real quick. We have triple Blue Eyes, 1 Trihorn, triple Whitestone of Legend, triple Maiden, double Bright Star, 1 Red MD, 1 Apocralyph, and 1 Influence Dragon. That's all the dragons. We have double Trag, double Maxx, double Veiler, 1 Gorz, 1 Honest, 1 BLS, and 1 Chaos Sorcerer. That's all the monsters. We have triple Silver's Cry, triple MST. I forgot I knocked this up to 3. Triple Trade-In, double Cards of Consonance, double Dragon Shrine, 1 Lance, 1 1-for-1, and 1 Dark Hole. Pretty hefty monster lineup here. You see we're not playing any traps. The idea of that is to make your opponent's MSTs, usually meaning 2 to 3, as dead as can be, and also this type of deck you can get away with just running the hand traps like we are, and it works great. So let me go over the extra deck real quick. Run through this. Yep. Alright, extra deck. Let's start with the big guy. We have 1 Star Eater. Hard to tell it's a starter. There you go. Alright, there. Triple Azure, 1 Scrap, 1 Blader, 1 Stardust Dragon, 1 Black Rose Dragon, 1 Catastor, 1 Gustav Maxx, double Heliopolis, 1 Thunder End, 1 Tachyon Dragon, and 1 Queen Jin. And that is the extra deck. Now, the only thing I can say I would change in here is that as soon as I can get my hands on Armades, it will be added to this extra deck, taking out either Gustav Maxx or Tachyon Dragon. Haven't decided which one yet, but no one seems to have an Armades. So that's the deck list, guys. And now we're going to go in depth into the deck and just talk about some interactions and things that you can do with it. Now, most of you already know what this deck does, what it's meant to do, and how it interacts. But the key to the deck is Blue Eyes White Dragon. It has interactions with Silver's Cry, Whitestone of Legend, Trade-In, Maiden, Azure-Eyes. The list goes on. It's what you build the deck around, and it's just an awesome card. A lot of you guys probably played back in the day when I played, and it was, oh, Dark Magician or Blue Eyes White Dragon. Well, we obviously all love the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Some of you may be on that Dark Magician fanboy wagon, but don't really need to say much about that. But the 3 Blue Eyes Dragons, I feel like they're really self-explanatory. So we'll move on to the next card. This may have raised some eyebrows. Now, I see people playing the Darkstorm Dragon in their deck, and they're saying, oh, well, it has the effect that it can destroy all back row. I'm not running anything that I can send for Darkstorm Dragon's effect, so I'll take the extra 150 attack here, and this Nostalgia, and I'll go with a 1 copy of Trihorn Dragon. It fills a dark roll for my Chaos plays, and if I send it with Dragon Shrine, I can then send a Whitestone of Legend, and that my graveyard is now set up for Chaos, and I get a Blue Eyes to my hand. So this card right here, Whitestone of Legend, I've had so many issues with cutting this from 1 to 3 cards, not knowing how many to play, and I've decided with Dragon Shrine, with Cards of Consonance, and with it being a level and tuner, I mean, I can max it out and be okay. The times I put it at 1 and 2, I would either have to put it in the graveyard with Shrine or anything like that and make Cards of Consonance more dead. I just think it maxed out is the best way, and I really can't say too much. I feel like you can get away with anywhere from 1 to 3, and you're going to have to just kind of test where you like it. But if you want to take my word for it, you can go ahead and play 3. Next we have triple Maiden. Maiden, I already went over here in my $30 deck list video, but I used to think she was more of a card that was going to spit out Blue Eyes and really help, and you were going to proc her effect with Wonder Wand and do all this cool stuff. Well, right now I'm seeing her as more of a stall card, And the only card in the main deck, the only spell I have that can proc her effect, is actually a Forbidden Lance. So we're going off our opponent, making our effect go off via attack or an effect, and wasting resources to get around her. Now, that's not always the case. Your opponent sometimes will just simply not attack her and wait until they have enough resources where they can get rid of her efficiently. So we do have a couple ways to make her use her own effect. So we'll say this is our situation, which a lot of times it is. You just play Maiden and pass. Next turn we come around and we normal summon the Bright Star Dragon. Bright Star Dragon has an effect when he's summoned. You can target another face-up monster and increase its level by 2, except for himself. So we'll target Maiden. Ask if our opponent has a response. They don't. We can now activate Maiden's effect. Maiden's effect will special summon a Blue-Eyes White Dragon. And we now have 2 different plays that we can make from here. Well, actually, I guess we have 3. The first one would be, don't do anything, end the turn, or attack, end. You could also go into a Black Rose Dragon, if you need to, if you needed to nuke the field. Or you could now take your level 3 Maiden with Stardust and turn into a Star Eater. So it's a pretty cool play, and the Bright Star Dragon's a 1900 attacker, light monster, so has a lot of cohesion with the deck, and I don't see any problem just running anywhere from 1 to 3 of these guys. I would stay away from 3, so 1 to 2 would be my recommendation. We're going to leave Maiden out here, and I'm going to show you the other way we have to make her use her own effect. So we'll say we have Maiden out here, and then we play Influence Dragon. Influence Dragon, not only is it a Cards of Consonance target, it's a level 3 Dragon Tuner with 1,000 or less attack. His effect, once per turn I can make another monster on the field of Dragon, or on my side of the field of Dragon. So I'll target Maiden, opponent doesn't have a response, so we'll go ahead and activate Maiden's effect to special summon Blue-Eyes. So now, once again, we have 2 different plays. Again, technically 3, we could attack or do whatever, but the best one would probably be just to go into Star Eater here. And now you still have your Maiden free to stall and maybe use next turn with something else. Or you can go 9 here and get out an Azure. And then next turn, if this thing survives, I mean, there's going to be protected, but they can still attack over it. When your Blue-Eyes get special summoned through Azure, you could then go into Star Eater. So you have 2 different plays you can make there, all stemming from Maiden being on the field and looking something like that. So those are 2 cards that were late additions to the deck, but I've been messing around with them on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, and I've been really liking them in testing. So that's about it for those. We'll talk about Red-Eyes Darkness Metal very shortly, because I feel like it's very self-explanatory. You're running a dragon deck, and you can pull stuff out of anything out of the graveyard. Even if you were to properly synchro summon a Azure, and it gets destroyed at some point, but for some reason, you can use Red-Eyes Darkness Metal to special summon it back out, and its effect reads that whenever it's special summoned, it gets its protection effect, not when it's synchro summoned. So even if you special it with Red-Eyes Darkness Metal, it's still going to protect your field for a duration, and it's still going to special summon dragons. So keep that in mind, but again, very self-explanatory. Dragon deck, Red-Eyes Darkness Metal, they kind of go together. Next is another tech choice of mine, Divine Dragon Apocralyph. If I have a trade-in or a Cards of Consonance in my hand, and I need one of the pieces that's in the graveyard, if I need a Blue-Eyes for trade-in or a White Stone of Legend for my Cards of Consonance, simply play this guy, pitch any card from my hand, get the right target back, and then do the draw power. Additionally, what you could do is if you sent your Red-Eyes Darkness Metal with Dragon Shrine, you can pitch any card, get this back to your hand. Now you can remove that Divine Dragon, special summon your Red-Eyes Darkness Metal, and make plays from there. So, has nice cohesion. I wouldn't run any more than 1, and it is a tech choice. So if you wanted to cut it and run a Lila or a Raikou or something, feel free. Now we have all the hand traps. I don't feel like I need to explain these too much, but we'll just kind of quickly run through them. Tragoedia, obviously, since you're synchroing, we have tuners, and we can overlay a few different ways in this deck. This card's great. Use it all the time to overlay into Heliopolis. Use it a few times to overlay into a rank 4 Queen Jin, and then special summon a Blue-Eyes. And obviously just its ability to take monsters. We are running a ton of level 8s, and a lot of the top decks are going into Stardust and Crimson Blader and all these things like never before. So they can actually attack into this next turn. We'll just pitch a Blue-Eyes and take their level 8 synchro, and it's beautiful, and we all know about Tragoedia. I love that card. Not much to say about this next one either. It's Maxx. You guys know what Maxx does. It's going to give us draw power and make our opponents have to think about if they want to push for game. And if they do attempt to push for game and they attack into Tragoedia, it's going to be a really big Tragoedia. So, really nice. Double Veiler. It's a light. It's a level 1 tuner, so we can sync it with our Blue-Eyes if we need to make an Azure, and obviously just disrupt plays. One Gorz, because it's Gorz. And one Honest, because it's Honest. Then we have the Chaos Twins. One BLS, just because we can make it. Ending games BLS, attacking over, Honest boosted, and attacking directly is amazing. And we all know about Chaos Sorcerer also being quite good. Next we have Triple Silver Cry. This card is amazing to get late game. And it's just a quick play that special summons a Blue-Eyes or a Red-Eyes, what's it called? Trihorn Dragon. And I'll show you a quick little play. I had to show this to a couple people yesterday. They didn't really understand what I was doing. But pretty much I would get a field that looked like... Excuse me, I'm sorry I don't have everything laid out here. Kind of winging this one. I'd have a Maiden and a Blue-Eyes out in the field. And I would synchro into Azure-Eyes. Azure's effect would kick in, and I would chain Silver's Cry, special summoning back that Blue-Eyes. And now it resolves backwards. Blue-Eyes hits the field, then Azure's effect goes off. Now this Blue-Eyes is also protected by the Azure effect. So it's a nice way to sneak in that Blue-Eyes, an extra Blue-Eyes that's protected. We do run 3. It's a great top deck card late game. It's like top decking a Monster Reborn late game. But only be able to get, you know, a 3K attacker. Who wants that? So we do run 3. Great application. I wouldn't really set it just because we're not running any real standard spells and traps. But, I mean, you can. If your opponent has 2 set and you set Silver's Cry and they destroy it during the end phase, you're going to feel real dumb. So we're running triple MST. And MST, more than ever, you kind of have to think about the way you're using it. Now, since we're not running any spell or any typical traps, your opponents are going to have MSTs set on the field probably since early in the game. A lot of people will set their MSTs. So what you have to realize is that if your plays are going off and that card's still sitting there, it's probably an MST or something you don't need to hit with your MST. So whenever your turn comes back around and you're ready to make your big push, don't MST that card that's been set. It's probably a dead MST. Nothing's more annoying than MSTing an MST. So keep these for threats. Or if you just need to clear the back row to make your big push, don't use them just because you draw it. A lot of people do that. It's really annoying. Next we have triple trade-in. We can run 3 trade-in with only 5 targets because Whitestone of Legend exists and we can get Blue-Eyes to our hand almost on call. So we're definitely running 3. It's rarely dead. And I love it. Next is Cards of Consonance. And we do have 4 targets for Cards of Consonance. Sometimes those targets get taken away with Dragon Shrine, so it makes this card more dead as the game goes. I was trying it at 3, didn't work out so well. Tried it at 1, didn't see it enough, so at 2 is what we're rolling with right now. And a lot of people are like, you need to run 3 Dragon Shrine, you need to run 3 Dragon Shrine. You don't need to run 3 Dragon Shrine. I feel like 2 is the best number. I've tested all the numbers, 1, 2, and 3. I feel like 2... I cut it down to 2 without like really thinking about it, and then like the deck was running so well with it at 2, I just know it's not needed. And I'll show you the standard Dragon Shrine play that I'll do if I can do it almost every single time. So what you'll do is you'll play your Dragon Shrine, allows you to send a dragon to the graveyard, and if it's normal you can send another dragon. So we'll send our Trihorn Dragon to the graveyard. The effect to send another one will apply. So we will send 1 Whitestone of Legend. Our graveyard is now and 1 card set up for either one of our Chaos plays. And then the last part, we'll add a Blue-Eyes to our hand, and we have effectively thinned our deck by 3 for 1 card, and a controlled 3. It's not just milling and hoping that we get it. We controlled what we milled. We now have a Chaos play. We now have a level 8 in the graveyard if we need to. Just great stuff with Dragon Shrine. We have the aforementioned Once Forbidden Lance. It can proc our own Maiden with Bottomless and some of the other cards being knocked down to 1. I don't feel like I need to max out or even run 2 of these cards anymore. I don't need help attacking over things with Blue-Eyes. So really what it's doing is it's protecting us from that off chance spell or trap that's really going to mess us up, and it's proccing our own Maiden when we need it. Next is 1 for 1. We can all pretty much imagine what we can do with 1 for 1. We can pretty much get out a Maiden on call. We can send White Stone Legend as the cost and get a Blue-Eyes to our hand. We can send Blue-Eyes that we don't need in our hand anymore to the graveyard as the cost. We can send a dark target if we need a dark target in the graveyard. Yada yada yada, you guys get it. It's a great card. And 1 Dark Hole. Can't say much that hasn't already been said about Dark Hole. It's fucking Dark Hole. So that is the more in-depth look at the deck. I don't feel like I need to super explain all these cards. A lot of you guys have been interacting with these cards for the last couple of weeks. But I wanted to show you kind of some of the interesting plays and interactions I had with it. So, extra deck, I don't feel like I need to explain any of these. Star Eater, again, you saw the couple plays that lead directly into Star Eater. He's great, and we are going to run the 1. I love poking with this card. I'll just leave it out there by itself and poke, 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 poke. Triple Azure. The other Azure, I think, is mixed in with the main deck, but just a great addition to the deck. I like getting him out early. Later in the game, I feel like he loses some of his ability, because by then your opponent has set some cards that can probably disrupt it, but I'll still make him in certain situations. Since we do run Gorz, we are running level 8s, and you saw our Black Rose play. In addition, the Influence Dragon plus any of our level 4s obviously equals Black Rose as well. Catastor, and one day Armades. We can make this with our Red as Darkness Metal and our Tragoedias. It can end the game, so why not? Heliopolis, I make this guy all the time, way more than I make Thunder End Dragon. A lot of people really like Thunder End Dragon, but I like Heliopolis more in most cases because I have to get rid of back row as well. Tachyon Dragon, if you use him right, he can end the game very, very early. And Queen Jin, she is the only rank 4 Exceed we use, and it can bring out a Blue-Eyes that can't attack for a turn, but we can use it to Exceed if we need to, and she makes it to where your dragons can't be destroyed by battle, so pretty nifty. That's the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I know this was not as in-depth as maybe some of my other videos, but again, I know you guys are probably sick of the Blue-Eyes deck. You've been seeing it at your locals. Everyone's playing their variation, but since I have had really good success with the deck, I just wanted to show it off to you guys. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate you guys watching.